Professor Mahmoud Yakubu bows out as Chairman INEC after 2 terms in office.
I am handing over to one of the most senior national commissioners by date of appointment.
Be steadfast in responsibilities, National Assembly leadership tells legislators on resumption.
We must legislate with boldness. We must give the youths of Nigeria not only hope, but opportunity.
Federal government reiterates commitment to build a resilient healthcare system.
There is significant scope for growth in terms of health contribution to Nigeria's GDP.
Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. And Benny Adams will be keeping us up to speed with the latest from the world of business. Benny, can you give us a tip of the iceberg?
Yes, it's been 2 days of robust brainstorming by Nigeria's economic think tank on the way to attaining a $1 trillion economy by 2030. They say it's a reality.
Okay, fingers crossed. Many thanks, Benny. And of course, Bade Adeleye will be giving us a sports update. Bade, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, Olajide, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have begun training ahead of Friday's must-win World Cup qualifier against Lesotho.
All right, many thanks, Bade. Remember, you can watch these broadcasts live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. And let's start from the National Assembly. Senate today reconvened plenary after 10 weeks of annual recess. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, while presiding, urged his colleagues to be steadfast in the discharge of constitutional responsibilities to make the Federation stronger, governance efficient, and democracy more inclusive.
Senate will remain open, accountable, and responsive as it gives the executive necessary support in the ongoing reforms for a better Nigeria.
We must legislate with boldness. We must give the youths of Nigeria not only hope, but opportunities. We must revisit the constitutional amendment. Where policies raise our people, we shall learn our strength. Where policies tend to imperil them, we shall speak out on their behalf.
Communications from President Tinubu that had piled up during the annual recess were all presented and referred to the relevant committees for further legislative action. 6 of the letters were requests for confirmation of appointments into agencies of government. 2 other letters were notification of presidential assent to bills from the National Assembly, while the remaining contained explanation on why the president declined assent to 2 bills. Plenary featured second reading of bill to amend Passport Act 2025, part of which prescribes withdrawal of international passport for a period of 10 years from any Nigerian citizen that is convicted for a crime outside the country.
To discourage the perpetration of crime by our citizens and to redeem the image of our country.
To serve as a deterrence to other Nigerians from committing crimes in foreign jurisdictions.
Tighten the process of acquiring Nigerian passport and make sure that at least those who really need Nigerian passports are issued.
So where a Nigerian goes to mess up the image of the country, such a Nigerian should not just go to prison and be deported to Nigeria. Such a person should actually lose the international passport for at least 10 years.
Bill to amend Federal Medical Centers Act, forwarded from the House of Representatives for concurrence, was also passed.
To provide for the establishment of additional federal medical centers across the country.
Meanwhile, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan also joined her colleagues at plenary, having served the 6 months of suspension. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has requested the approval of the House of Representatives for the federal government to raise $2.34 billion in new external borrowing, part of which is to finance the 2025 budget deficit and refinance maturing Eurobonds. The president is also seeking approval for a standalone sukuk loan of $500 million in the domestic capital markets to finance critical road projects. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports.
The lawmakers are fresh from annual recess, and Speaker Abbas Tajuddin serves notice that bills on constitution review, particularly regarding security and electoral reforms, are top priority.
Our goal is to make elections more democratic and inclusive.
President Tinubu's requests to implement new external borrowing include 1.84 trillion naira for part financing of the 2025 budget deficit, as well as accessing aggregate external capital of $2.3 billion and a $500 million sukuk loan.
The House of Representatives may wish to note that 2025 Appropriation Act provides for 9 trillion 276 billion 348 million 934 naira as new borrowings to finance the 2025 budget deficit.
Lawmakers expressed concern over renewed bandit attacks in parts of Niger and Kwara states.
Note the recent attack on the people of Rabah, Salka, Tungamongoro and Ibeto communities by bandits and cow rustlers.
Further note the tragic incident on Sunday, 28 September 2025 in Okeode, which were about 15 persons, including 11 forest guards, and Bale of Ogbayo, among others, were killed by armed bandits.
The House constituted an ad hoc committee to investigate multiple bank charges and deductions in the bank accounts of civil servants.
Concern over the deduction of various taxes and charges from their monthly salary and earnings, especially in line with the government policies on the National Housing Funds, National Health Insurance Scheme, with little and no clarity on the utilization of such deductions.
3 new lawmakers from Edo, Jigawa, and Kaduna states were sworn in following their victories in the August by-elections. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikpen, NTA News.
And away from the legislature, the Supreme Court has commenced adjudication on the matter between the Osun State government and Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice over the legality or otherwise of the funds allegedly allotted to factional local government chairmen in the state. Olabo Diarewa reports that the suit is in response to who is the legitimate council chairman in that state.
In November 2022, 20 chairmen emerged from a local government election conducted by the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, OSEC. The legality of that poll had been in dispute, prompting the PDP-led state government to mount legal challenge to the emergence of the chairmen from the APC. Attorney General for Osun State approached the Supreme Court, praying to invalidate the APC LGA chairman from assuming office. The Minister of Justice is the sole defendant. Although issues have been joined between the two parties, counsel to Osun State government, Musibau Adetumbi, withdrew his earlier suit and filed a fresh suit based on some new developments in the matter. In the fresh suit filed by the Osun State government, the plaintiff alleged receipt of a letter said to have emanated from the AGF's office that some of the LGA's monthly allocations should be disbursed to the chairman from the APC faction. Osun State as plaintiff told the court that although the purported disbursement had been stopped through a court order, the government wants the rest to be preserved from being dissipated or spent.
We've canvassed what we believe to be the law, the position of the law, and we trust in the Almighty God, we trust in the wisdom of their lordships.
The Supreme Court, having received all the processes in the case, it adjourned the matter sine die for judgment. From the Supreme Court, Olabo Diarewa, NTA News.
With more than 70% of inmates in correctional centers across the country said to be those awaiting trial, the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory and other stakeholders are training personnel in the justice sector on effective implementation of the non-custodial sentencing. The training is aimed at enhancing participants' understanding of the legal frameworks and guidelines and measures of non-custodial sentencing in order to reduce overcrowding of correctional facilities, thereby promoting rehabilitation of offenders.
The Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 made the laudable provisions about the non-custodial measures. But the problem we have been having is the implementation. We have had so many trainings and conferences on non-custodial measure, but none have been geared towards the implementation, proper implementation. So this is the one that we are having today, so that at the end of the day we'll go to the field and ensure it's properly implemented.
I believe there are quite a number of inmates that should not even have been sent to the custodial facilities.
So the whole idea today is how to help the officers, understand, train them with the use of non-custodial measures and help them, because a lot of them are liaison officers.
And away from the judiciary, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu has concluded his second tenure as INEC Chairman today. After 10 years in office, Professor Mahmood Yakubu handed over to INEC National Commissioner May Agbamuchembu as acting INEC Chairman, pending the appointment of a new INEC Chairman by the President.
3 p.m. delay that comes with unpredictable movement by INEC National Commissioners. Mahmood moves in at 3:05 p.m., his usual smile not scarce on the mien, accompanied by pleasantries. As the tradition of such meetings, only the INEC chairman's opening remarks open for media consumption. First part of the speech, progress report on the continuous voter registration exercise and other major transformations. But the second part was what took many off their feet.
Having been privileged to serve the Commission for 10 years, with only a few more weeks to serve, I have taken a decision and conveyed same. In the interim, I am handing over to one of the most senior national commissioners by date of appointment. So, Commissioner May, it is my pleasure to hand over to you formally and officially as the acting chairman of INEC. Thank you.
I pledge to uphold the integrity of the Commission and work with utmost professionalism, dedication, and in unity to ensure that we continue the success and growth of the Commission.
Will our salaries be paid before the 23rd of each month again? Will we be able to get our staff buses on the road? These are questions that you have left me.
Coming out from the door, he first walked in November 9, 2015. Farewell to a building, being friendly to him 10 years, walking down staircase that offered him 10 years of exercise, then walking out from a premises that reminds him of the national assignment. Mahmood Yakubu, professor of history, also made history at INEC. First INEC chairman to serve twice as the chairman of the commission, talking about 10 years. But within these 10 years, a lot happened. I'm not talking of electoral reforms and other issues. I'm talking of what happened, transpired within the 10 years on the social media platform against Mahmood Yakubu. Rumors of his death, rumors of ill health, and rumors of sack several times on the social media. But he survived all of that, and today successfully ended his tenure as the INEC chairman. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Many thanks, Mayor. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has accepted Professor Mahmood Yakubu's departure as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission following the expiration of his second term in office. President Tinubu thanked Professor Yakubu for his service to the nation and efforts to sustain Nigeria's democracy, particularly through the conduct of free and fair elections throughout his two-term tenure. In recognition of Yakubu's dedicated service to the nation, President Tinubu bestows on him the honor of Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has accepted the resignation of Jeffrey Uche Naji, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, following some allegations against him. President Tinubu appointed Naji in August 2023. He resigned today in a letter thanking the president for allowing him to serve Nigeria. The federal government have reiterated its commitment to building a resilient healthcare system with focus on healthcare security and epidemic prevention. This was emphasized at the Presidential Initiative for Unlocking Healthcare Value Chain PVAC Fund Manager CEO Breakfast Roundtable held in Abuja. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, emphasized the importance of effectively leveraging technology across the 4 key pillars of healthcare delivery.
When you look at OECD countries, health as a contributor to their GDP is about 9 to 10% average. US is 14%. Many of our countries in Nigeria is 1.5%. It's grown even with that, which means that there is significant scope for growth in terms of health contribution to Nigeria's GDP. We feel that there is a huge economic value. There is a matter of national security, will create jobs.
Industry, Trade and Investment Dr. Jumoke Duwale outlined Nigeria's strategy to support domestic investors and businesses with focus on facilitating trade through digital transformation.
Private clusters can accelerate localization, scale production, and serve both domestic and FCFTA markets. And so this is where your partnership and your investment and where you allocate your resources comes in.
One of the things we're thinking about is maybe establishing a dedicated healthcare fund. What do you think from where you're seeing, you see the market, you understand the market, and then how can we partner with you, PVAC, and the rest of government in moving and continuing to mobilize resources, private resources into the healthcare sector.
A meeting focused on strengthening government coordination and implementing healthcare system reforms in Nigeria with discussions revolving around local financing, healthcare funding and service delivery improvements. You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Do stay with us. Thanks for being there. Kano State government is committed to ensuring that no child in the state is left behind in the fight against vaccine-preventable diseases. The assurance was contained in Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's message to the launch of the Measles Rubella Integrated Campaign in Tofa local government area of the state. Abdullahi Mustafa has a report.
Measles Rubella Integrated Campaign brings together several life-saving interventions, including vaccinations against measles, rubella, polio, and HPV. It also includes mass drug administration against onchocerciasis, popularly called river blindness. In collaboration with development partners, the campaign aims to safeguard the health and well-being of children, especially under the age of 5. Governor Yusuf, who was represented by his deputy Aminu Abdusalam, reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening routine immunization and other health interventions.
Our administration believes that health is the foundation of human capital development. When our people are healthy, our schools thrive, our economy will significantly grow.
He noted that health remains the foundation of human capital development, emphasizing that the state government has continued to make significant investments in healthcare infrastructure across the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Despite funding fatigue, the United Nations via UNICEF has expanded its humanitarian support to Yobe State through a strategic collaboration with the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, and local actors. This is expected to bolster response to some identified challenges affecting children and families in the state. The partnership is also fashioned to encourage local communities to take full ownership of all interventions by the UN agency. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
Local actors, including authorities, civil society organizations and communities, are all here to be part of effort that seeks to bolster response and address identified challenges affecting children and families in the state and by extension the Northeast sub-region. Through this partnership, the stakeholders are expected to act as UNICEF's implementing partners, driving the delivery of critical interventions in key areas including education, healthcare, nutrition, access to justice, and water and sanitation, among others.
With building the capacities of the local actors will help in reducing malnutrition, at least The local actors are able to go to the local communities to how to reach communities, educate the mothers.
A lot of this effort in the Bay State is already concentrated in Borno State. So during our meeting in Abuja, we told them, no, this kind of approach is insignificant in Yobe. There's need to have a dialogue with our local partners because they're in the community, they have the physical presence, the local area knowledge and technical expertise. So this kind of dialogue will now allow them to understand the financial management and how the system works.
This collaborative engagement showed UNICEF's commitment to localizing humanitarian responses, recognizing the critical role of local actors in addressing the needs of children and families affected by crisis. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
A property running into millions of naira was destroyed after the female hostel of Gombe State University caught fire. Emmanuel Akila reports that Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya visited the campus and advised students to adhere to safety regulations. He also gave 20 million naira to cushion the effect on students.
Registrar of the university who received Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya and entourage on sympathy visit told the governor that the incident, which occurred last Thursday evening, did not claim any life, but substantial part of the hostel and students' property were gutted in the inferno. Governor Inuwa Yahaya, accompanied by top government officials, reiterates his commitment to safety of lives and property, announcing a donation of 20 million naira besides the immediate directives he gave the State Emergency Management Agency to provide succor to the affected students.
They lost their properties and the 4 rooms of virtually the hostel has been destroyed because the building has been compromised.
I'm directing the Honorable Commissioner for Higher Education together with the Honorable Commissioner for Works, Housing and Transportation to coordinate and ensure that a befitting building is put up to replace this.
The incident is suspected to be an explosion of cooking gas used by the students. The governor directs the fire service unit of the university to carry a thorough investigation to come up with true cause of the fire with a view to preventing future occurrence. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
The federal government's ban on the export of raw shea nuts has begun to yield positive results. This follows recommendations by stakeholders describing the move as effective towards market stabilization, attracting long-term investments and job creation. Grace Anyoleke tells us more.
Shea nuts are seeds of the shea tree, which is a valuable resource in the extraction of shea butter used in cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and food industries around the world. Nigeria ranks high among the top producers of shea nuts with about 45% of global production, but the country loses billions of naira annually due to exporting inefficiencies amongst other factors. To change this narrative, President Bola Tinubu in August 2025 approved a 6-month temporary ban on the export of raw shea nuts in a move to industrialize Nigeria's agricultural sector and produce greater value for its natural resources. These ban, key players within the value chain say, would boost local economy and promote sustainability.
Shouldn't allow you to be limited on banning decision alone. They should try to fund the industry, to encourage the Nigeria manufacturing industry to invest in that sector. If they invest in that sector, it will create a lot of employment, from the planter to the LBA, that's the local buying agent, to the transporters, to the industry that will be processing it.
This move has opened up the local markets to more investors, stabilized prices, and restored confidence of producing communities. For thousands of rural women who pick, crack, boil, and dry the nuts, like other stakeholders on the value chain of production. Shea nuts are more than just fruit. They are a lifeline. In Ibadan, Grace Anyoleke, NTA News.
Nigeria's digital transformation agenda takes center stage at the ongoing Nigeria Economic Summit in Abuja. IHS Nigeria, an independent telecommunications infrastructure company, one of the private sector players leading the campaign for Nigeria's digital transformation at the summit, emphasized the need for smart growth to accelerate the nation's digital leap. Boplank Dakok reports.
IHS plenary tagged
Smart growth for Nigeria's digital leap is a convergence of industry players who note that digital technology remains key to drive economic diversification and inclusion. The speakers call for more investments in infrastructure, innovation, and human capital development.
We hope and we believe that the private sector will have to do a lot of work to attract whether foreign investment or even investment internally to basically drive in the infrastructure, connectivity, digital economy, and basically including everybody in Nigeria.
Another session at the event spotlights digital economy value chain development, agricultural sector investment, and policy regulatory frameworks, where speakers identify these areas as critical to unlocking Nigeria's digital potential.
And it speaks a lot about what we're trying to do in GSA and IHS as a whole, which is ensuring that we provide digital infrastructure to power Nigeria's digital economy. But one thing we're also very passionate about is our investment in building mobile networks in rural areas.
We need to legally enable the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. We know that the current act is limited, so there's a lot more that they can do that they are not able to do.
The sessions advocate a universal approach to digital communication to place Nigeria as a competitive player in the regional digital economy. In Abuja, Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
Industry players in the defense and media sectors have converged on the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, to rub minds over key national security issues and to change the narrative in conflict reporting. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani reports that the discusses part of a 3-day training organized by the Nigerian Army.
National security. Who is the custodian of national security? Is it the Nigerian military? Is it the citizen? Or is it the media? One of key issues being addressed here at this media seminar organized by the Nigerian Army to enhance and equip media practitioners with the right reporting skills in a conflict situation.
In an era where perception often shapes reality, the role of the media in countering misinformation, dispelling fake news, and mobilizing public support for military operations cannot be overstated.
It is about shaping narratives, mobilizing public support, countering misinformation, and ultimately influencing the success of operations undertaken by the security agencies.
For Major Aluko, who has had a career in military communication, the discourse goes beyond just ethical reporting.
So the use of the media now is, in short, is a key role in fighting any kind of battle.
Stakeholders also agree that the seminar, organized by the first female acting director of public relations in the Army's 160-year history, will ensure that security is everyone's business. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Now let's take another break. The news continues shortly. Many thanks for being there. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRIA, is strengthening partnership with key media institutions to advance environmental awareness across the country. In a strategic move, the Director General, Professor Innocent Bariko, and his management team paid a courtesy visit to the Director General of NTA, Abdul Hamid Dembos, and management of NTA. The visit, according to NESRIA, aims to strengthen media support for environmental protection campaigns and enhance public enlightenment on NESRIA's mandate.
The way and manner NTA has addressed the issues of Nigeria at the level of media. It truly continues to showcase NTA as the largest media organization in Africa. And so as an agency, it is our responsibility to ensure that we establish standards around environmental practices.
Welcoming the visitors, DG NTA Saliu Abdul Hamid Dembos promised a renewed partnership with NESRIA as NTA is poised to amplify the message of environmental responsibility, ensuring it reaches every corner of the country.
The general public needs a lot of information
So many things they have rolled out, I think, need to be also sounded to the general public so that they will be able to know and also equally key into the activities and also responsibilities of the agency. For us in NTA, I think we have a solution to that, just like you have identified, by providing you the platforms to reach out to general public so that your agency will be able to succeed.
According to the DG NTA, the show of interagency collaboration is expected to strengthen environmental communications and responsibility. Now let's do some business with Benny Adams. Benny?
Thank you, Olajide. Now talking business, Nigeria is set to conduct the 7th Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey aimed at gathering key data that will guide national development policies. The survey, to be carried out by the National Bureau of Statistics in collaboration with UNICEF and other development partners, seeks to provide detailed information on the living conditions, welfare, as well as well-being of women and children, as well as indicators that reflect the overall quality of life in Nigerian homes.
As we all know that the children are the future of this country, of any country, and so we need to understand what is the social indicators of these children. Are they going to school? Are they being vaccinated? Are they being protected from different kinds of situations?
The result of this particular survey is going to be useful by government, both at the federal and state level, to come up with programs, to come up with policies that can impact the life of children and women in the country. We are going to cover over 37,000 households across the 36 states and FCT in Nigeria, and both urban and rural areas of the country are also going to be covered.
Who will participate in conducting the survey in the 36 states of the country will begin on Wednesday, 8th of October, 2025. Now, as conversations on attaining a $1 trillion economy by 2030 continue to gain traction at the ongoing Nigeria Economic Summit Group, that is the 31st edition in Abuja, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, says plans are underway to ensure inclusion of the nation's rural communities through various investment programs.
Our farmers to multiply their yields. We want our fishing communities to get more from what they are doing. We want those in the agricultural sector. We want those in trades, nano industry, to see what can we do for them so that they can get wealthier. So it's not a transactional program, meaning it's not a program where you just give somebody money. You have to handhold people. It takes years.
Well, while we look forward to that hand holding, it's time to look at the market where it is 8 straight days of gains. Think of it as a winning streak, and investors are having a good payday, collectively gaining 109 billion naira. The total market value is now a whopping 92.03 trillion naira. While this is or can't be said to be Nigerian equities market, it's not the same for the Johannesburg top 40 companies shares, recording 0.47% drop in value, while the Tunisia Tunindex also losing, but marginally by 0.01%. That is it on business at this time. Olajide, you can take it from here.
Many thanks, Benny. And moving on, delays in driver's license and number plate issuance may soon be a thing of the past as the Federal Road Safety Corps sets to roll out its enhanced driver's license upgraded system infrastructure. FRSC Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed revealed these at the 2025 Customer Service Week at the Corps headquarters. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
Concerns have mounted over the prolonged delays in the issuance and renewal of driver's licenses and number plates across the country. Many applicants who have completed the necessary processes remain in limbo, waiting and wondering when they will finally receive their documents. In response, the Federal Safety Corps says it has been working tirelessly to resolve these issues, and now it appears that relief is in sight. The Corps Marshal has announced the launch of its enhanced driver's license alongside the upgrading of its system infrastructure aimed at ensuring faster processing and easier access to licenses and number plates, all within a matter of days.
We are upscaling, upgrading the technology and system infrastructure of these two products, and by the grace of God, within this month, we are launching an enhanced driver's license.
The commercial appealed for patience from those still awaiting their documents. He reassured applicants that the Corps is committed to improving service delivery and will continue to uphold legislative standards, implement relevant policies, and enforce traffic regulations, all geared towards reducing road traffic crashes and enhancing road safety across the country. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Youth Development says it has withdrawn registration certificates earlier issued to the National Youth Council of Nigeria on October 28, 2020. A statement by the ministry notes that upon a detailed review of the council's records and governance practices, the Corporate Affairs Commission found serious violations of both NYCN Constitution and provisions of CAMA 2020, particularly sections 833 and 834. Consequently, the Commission has recognized all existing claims to leadership, trusteeship, and management within the organization. The Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has flagged off a special road maintenance in Ogun State tagged Operation Safeguard at the Road, aimed at reducing road crashes along the highway. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer FEMA, Dr. Chukwuemeka Agbasi, says the exercise is geared towards enhancing visibility along major highways across the country. Hakim Jimo reports.
The nationwide Operation Safeguard the Roads activities being carried out by the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is a routine maintenance work along major highways which involves the clearing of overgrown grasses to ensure visibility for a better driving experience. In Ogun State, the operation was flagged off at Ishaga, Ilaro, Owode, Adoduota, Ikoga Road.
We have the verges of these roads have been taken over by bushes, and the purpose of the program is to clear all these bushes and to deseal the shoulder so that our driver can have safer experience.
The operation is in line with the Renewed Hope initiative of the federal government aimed at creating job opportunities and ensuring the security of lives and property.
There won't be problem of security issues. It's going to reduce a lot of accidents on the road, thereby preventing loss of lives and properties.
Motorists believe that the exercise is a right step in the right direction and commended FEMA for the initiative.
It's a very good idea. At least you are trying to safeguard all the people that are passing through this place.
FEMA is expected to extend the operations to the 3 senatorial districts of Ogun State. From Jogaorile in Abeokuta North local government area of Ogun State, Hakim Jimo, NTA News.
Another break beckons. The news continues in a moment. Glad to know you're still there. Over now to Badi Adile for sport updates. Badi.
Many thanks, Olajide. Now let's begin with hockey. As with just days to the 2025 Hockey Africa Cup of Nations scheduled for October 11 to 18 in Egypt, Team Nigeria has departed Abuja brimming with confidence and determination to deliver podium finishes for the country. The women's team will open their campaign against Kenya on October 11 before taking on Ghana, host Egypt and South Africa in subsequent matches. For the men's team, their quest for glory begins with a highly anticipated clash against rivals Ghana, also on October the 11th.
Kudos to our president, Engineer Samuel Nkom, and the board members. And you can see from all our preparation, we're looking for a podium finish.
We've never had it this good in terms of preparation. All we want to go and do now is to just make this country proud.
To football now, Nigeria's Super Eagles Tuesday evening had their first training session in Polokwane ahead of Friday's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Lesotho. Tuesday's session was overseen by head coach Eric Charlie and his technical staff as the 17 players in camp, as at that time, were put through their paces as tactical drills and plans were being perfected. As at the last count, 18 players have now arrived camp, with Benjamin Fredericks being the latest arrival. The team will train again on Wednesday. And still talking national teams, Flying Eagles head coach Aliyu Zubairu says his team is ready for the battle against Argentina. The 7-time African champions will take on Argentina in the round of 16 fixture at the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Santiago on Wednesday. The South Americans have a 100% record in the competition, having won all their group matches, while Nigeria, on the other hand, managed to escape to the knockout round as one of the best third-place finishers. Despite the enormity of the task before his team, Zubairu is optimistic they will scale through the order. And that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Olajide.
Many thanks, Badia. And just before we go, a quick look at the weather forecast.
Welcome to Wednesday's weather forecast. The northern parts of the country are expected to remain mostly calm with clear skies, abundant sunshine, and only a few passing clouds. However, isolated thunderstorms may occur in parts of Adama, Taraba, Kaduna, and Kebbi State. Meanwhile, scattered thunderstorms are expected in areas including Plateau, FCT, Niger, Kwara, and Benue. In contrast, the southern region will see thunderstorms accompanied by moderate rains across most areas. And that's the weather update for now. Stay safe, stay dry, and enjoy your day. I'm Sefia Sayunusa. Thank you for watching.
Well, that's it on the network news. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.